Okay, so this is more on passing functions. So we've got my number equals 7, and we're calling square, passing it my number, whatever's stored in here, will become stored in value. And that's because once we're in this function's out of scope. If I tried to call this variable here, if I tried to do print my number, you'll see that we get an error because it's not in scope. It doesn't actually exist here. It only exists out in this one. So you can't do that. Now if we were to print value, you'll see that you get a copy of that. So I'm going to call and I'm going to test it. And you'll see that I get 7, where I'm printing it. So you can see that that value has saved into here. And then it prints the answer, which is 49. So I can't change or affect my number from here. If I created a my number, and we'll do it after value, but before this, my number equals 9, this is a different variable. If I were to print my number, and I really should put that this is inside square, so I know what functions it's in. If I were to print my number, it would print 9. And so I've changed it here, but if I were to return to the main logic of main, and after I did the square, if I were to print main 3, comma, my number, here it's still going to print 7. So when we run this, it's really a scope issue. So I'm in main 3, it's still 7. Even though I have a my number in this function, it is not the same variable as it is here. It has a copy of the value that was inside of it. So that's the difference. We are taking whatever's stored in the variable. We're not passing the variable name, we're passing a copy of what's stored in the variable into the function. We're working with it. And I can create a new variable in this function with the same name, but it's not pointing to the same memory address. And that's the critical thing, and that's really scope. So my number for main is only in scope while I'm literally in main. Once I leave main and come to the function square, that variable is no longer in scope. I've created a new variable with the same name, but it's not the same variable, and they're not pointing at the same place in memory.